Let me start off this video by saying if you have not had your first retwist yet, you are in for a treat. Hey, what's up, sweet, beautiful people? Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, thanks so much for stopping by. My name is Alexis, and if you're not new here, thank you even more for returning. Today's video is all about how to make a retwist last longer. And if you're interested in that, give this video a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and stay tuned for more content coming every single week. Let me start off this video by saying if you have not had your first retwist yet, you are in for a treat. I love getting retwisted. I think it's really important to keep your hair manicured in a sense that if you're not freeforming, you're careful not to let your hair mat together and careful that your locks don't sort of merge together on their own if that's not what you're going for. Then it's going to be really important that you get retwisted on a consistent basis. I go every 4 weeks for a retwist, give or take 4 weeks. Sometimes it's a bit sooner, sometimes I go a bit longer without getting retwisted. And I find that I love it. My hair loves it. It really just allows my locks to form as I want them to. And since I'm not free-forming, it's really important for me to get retwisted consistently. And that doesn't mean I have to, keep them neat and tidy every second of the day, but there is a point in time around the 4-week mark that I'm like, all right, let me show my locks some love and make sure they're not matting together on me. And there's no kind of cross-pollination going on here. A few weeks ago, I posted a video about neat versus not so neat locks, or nappy locks. And a lot of us had a healthy discussion about which one we prefer. I'm more on the nappy side of locks. Like, I love the not so neat look of locks after my retwist kind of wears off a little bit. And the main reason I get retwisted is, like I said, so that my locks don't mat together. I want to kind of keep them as individual locks, and I'm not free-forming. So again, getting retwisted is pretty important. But this video is all about how to make that retwist last. Like, if you don't like the not so neat look and you really want your hair to be neat 24/7, or you just want your retwist to last longer than a few days, there are a couple things that you can do. This video isn't going to be long because I'm still uncovering the main things that you can do, but these are just a few steps that I've found to be useful so far, and hopefully you guys appreciate them, and maybe you've had these experiences as well. So let's jump right in. So there are 3 ways that you can make your retwist last longer. The first way is to keep your locks covered. So after you come back from a lock appointment, or whether you retwist them yourselves or what have you, make sure you keep your locks covered. So if you're not going out and you're just kind of lounging around the house, use a scarf, use a bonnet, use something to keep your locks covered. That way they're not brushing up against harsh fabrics and material, and they're not unraveling as they rub up against things around the house, whether it's the couch or the bed or that fancy throw pillow that you have laying around. You want to keep your hair protected from those outside elements. This includes in the shower. So this brings us to our next point, and that is to use a shower cap in the shower. I used to make videos about how I would steam my hair in the shower, and I still like to do that, but not if I'm trying to maintain a retwist or make my retwist last. So I noticed that if I want my retwist to last longer, and this might sound crazy, like common sense to you guys, but it didn't click for me until recently. If I want my retwist to last longer, I have to use a shower cap in the shower, because that moisture and that heat and that steam and that mist causes locks to unravel from the root. And I don't mean like down the lock strand. I mean the retwist will unravel at the root, at the base of your hair. So keep that in mind. If you want your retwist to last longer, put a shower cap on in the shower. Don't try to steam your hair because, of course, steam loosens wrinkles and it loosens a fresh retwist. And that, of course, brings us to our second point, which is to avoid putting water directly on your scalp. So this is old reliable here. I call it old reliable because the spray bottle is something that you're gonna need if you are locked. You want to have water in your spray bottle. But if you're trying to preserve your retwist, I would try to avoid putting water directly on the scalp and maybe focus on the actual lock itself. You can get the lock wet, but not at the base, not where your retwist was just performed. Because again, water will cause whatever you used, whether it's oil, whether it's gel, whether it's essential oils, whatever lock product you use to retwist your locks, the water will cause your locks to unravel from the root. Again, this is me just speaking from personal experience. It may not be the same for your locks in your hair, but I noticed that the more I mist my locks with water, the more they unravel and the less longer the retwist lasts. So the shorter the retwist will last. So avoid water directly on your scalp if your goal is to preserve your retwist for a couple more days. So keep your locks covered, avoid putting water directly on the scalp. And the third tip is to keep your hands out of your head. If you're like me and you talk with your hands and you're excited about the lock process and the lock journey, it's so hard to keep your hands out of your head. Like I'm constantly doing this all day and trying to like see how far they stretch out, you know, trying to really just show them that I love them. But the best way you can show your locks that you love them is to keep your hands out of your head. If you're trying to preserve your retwist and make it last a couple days longer or even a week longer in some instances, keep your hands out of your head. Definitely don't go in and dig in and scratch in too heavily. And I think if you do that, you'll be pretty safe. At least, again, this is just my experiences this is my experience regarding how to make a retwist last longer. So if you are always playing in your hair and letting other people play in your hair, it could easily or even unintentionally cause your locks to unravel, cause your retwist to kind of not last. And that's what this video is all about, how to make your retwist last longer. So those are the 3 tips that I have. Let me know what you guys do, and if you have any tips or tricks for myself or for the community, let us know, because again, it's not just me talking every week. I love to hear your tips, your tricks, your advice. You guys always show me mad love, and I just want to send it all back to you. So this is what I've been realizing so far, is that my retwist will last longer if I keep my hair covered, if I avoid putting water directly on my scalp, and if I keep my hands out of my head. Sounds pretty simple, but again, I'm learning as I go here, so I promised to share with you guys as I learn. So that's all I'm doing today, just sharing with you guys where I'm at in the lock journey, in my lock journey, in the process. So I hope this video helps you guys out, especially if you're newly locked or if you're thinking about getting locks. I hope you find this information useful. I make lock videos every week where we talk about it, and I just open up the floor to you guys to contribute as well, because it's not just me. Your stories enrich my life so much, so please keep them coming, keep the love coming in. Please be safe, you guys. Know that I love you. Stay safe, stay well, and say it with me, stay locked. Bye, guys.